What's up, Hank? Getting ready to tackle my 2.0 Chevy Cruze diesel timing belt. First thing I'm doing is disconnecting the negative, of course, take off the cover. And got it all up in the air. Supporting the engine with a block and the front of the frame with some floor jacks. And chalk the back of the tires, man. Alright. What do you think, Hank? Here's where we're at. I just unhooked that from the turbo. Just folded it back up there. I don't think I need to take it completely out. It looks like a bunch of crap I don't even need to mess with. There's a little right there that it kind of like has a plug that snaps into it. This motor mount. Take these three off first. If you have too much of a gap, then you go back under the engine and you jack it up a little bit. Then you take the three back off. It comes right off. It's light. Huge. Pretty nice. The quality of GM has gone up a lot. Look at this. Even my fender well has like a, I don't know, it looks like a diaper or something on it. So, alright, that's where we're at so far. Timing belt. Definitely looks sloppy and old. Alright. Okay, Hank, what do you think, bud? Alright, got the harmonic balancer off. Just take the 4 bolts right off. Thing just comes right off. Hardly any torque on them even. Let's see what the torque spec is on these things. Got the serpentine belt off. You know. So now I gotta take off that bracket. Alright. We are at the bracket. But you can pretty much see the entire timing belt now all the way down. Get this bracket off. I'll be right back. Okay, there it is. There's this big sucker. And I just put all the bolts back in it. Keep them all organized because they're all different lengths. Alright. Oh. Alright. Okay. That pulley goes there, you know. Just take the pulley right off. It's part of it. Okay. Hank, what do you think, bud? Yeah, organizing the tools. Okay. Alright. Next step, removing the belt. Okay. Got that sucker back on. It's lining up. Right there, it lines up with that mark. That mark there lines up there. This new water pump, I just tightened it as much as I could with an Allen key. You know, it's got a new tensioner, which I have no idea. I pushed up on the little tab. There's a little tab in there, and I tightened it. I don't know how to get the damn thing tight. Oh. And then you got a little timing mark here. And there's my line. So I'm on everything. The only thing I don't like is a lot of coolant came out when I took my water pump out. Well, made a mess. And this damn tensioner, I don't know. I pushed that arrow up to the 0, and then I tightened it, and it just goes right back. It almost looks like that's gonna touch. So I don't know what's going on there. Okay, next morning, I just went to bed, slept on it. I got the tensioner right now. You can see that little arrow right there is right in front of the hole. I guess that's when you know you have the right tension. And I put a bolt right here, right underneath it. And that bolt, the way I got that bolt was just out of the bracket. Just take it right out of the bracket. find a flathead, and then you just pry up on this tab that's down here. There's a tab, you'll see it, and it gives you the clearance you need right here. Okay, well, the tensioner is on. I've done a bunch of rotations trying to get the marks to line back up, but you know, hopefully everything's good. I lined up the crankshaft, and I lined up the crankshaft and the camshaft marks together, and then the fuel pump I moved on the mark. So I mean, the only thing I could see that even if that belt is backwards, I know this engine has to turn clockwise. Even if it's backwards, these marks would still be the same. So, you know, I feel pretty confident now. I'm going to start putting it back together. Okay, coming along. Got bracket on, got the serpentine belt on. The serpentine belt is pretty hard. I had to look at the diagram for it, but you know, damn, that thing's got this old trusty Harbor Freight serpentine belt. It helps. Okay, plucking along. I rotated the engine over I don't know how many times, and the mark still ain't lining up. I know this is probably got to do it 20 times. Who knows what the compression ratios are. The diesel's a lot more, I know, but I can't turn it over anymore. I'm going to blow my hand out. I'm just going to go with it. Alright. Get some of this crap out of here. Okay. See you. Okay. I put these three in first. And then I finger tighted these outside. I had a hard time doing it. So I got like a little bar or something to pry it with. This little groove right here. Right on that lip. It gives you a nice pry point. Got it finger tighted. Don't try to force them in. Because these will strip. That would suck. So, yeah. This job really wasn't that bad. Any advice? That tensioner, put that bolt underneath, pry it with a screwdriver, and then tighten it. Get that little arrow over the circle. And you'll see it when you start doing it. And then the only thing I would say is, before you take your old belt off and put your new belt on, put the new belt right next to the old belt. Make sure you have it the right direction. Like I said, though, I don't think you can put it the wrong direction. I just don't even think it would fit at all. So, I think this engine spins clockwise. It does have an arrow. So, I mean, it's got to be right. It's really ain't that bad of a job. I think next time I'll be able to do it in probably 3 hours now that I know what it entails. Alright, see you. Go. So I'll put back together. I'll leave the wheel off. Make sure I don't see no coolant pouring out of the water pump, which I'm sure it'll be fine. Topped off my coolant. Let it air bubble. Deck's cool. Get the battery hooked back up. I'm just going to leave the reservoir like that. I'm sure it'll suck some in the system. I'll have to put some more. But here we go. First start. Oh, shit. Kind of nerve-wracking. You start thinking about all the stuff that you did and might have did wrong. So, make sure this thing ain't on. Okay. Wish me luck. Sounds good. Oh, hell yeah. We have an engine. It's exciting. Alright. You're doing pretty good on that. This really wasn't that bad of a job. Took me about probably 5 hours, but I'm a novice. Next time I could probably do it in 3. There goes my coolant bubbling around. Cap back on. Keep an eye on the temperature. Alright. Probably got air in the system, I'm sure. No engine lights on. Wow. Well, that was a lot easier than what I thought. I didn't think it was going to be that easy, to be honest with you. This is a job I recommend doing yourself. Get all OEM parts. It costed me about $350. I hear a lot of guys saying it cost them $400, $500, but you know, I went to the dealer and it was cheaper than anything I found online. You know, so yeah, this is a job that a novice can do. I think so. There wasn't that many parts. Wasn't that much to it, really. I mean, just that tensioner pulley's a little tricky. You know, that the belt is scary, but just remember the top right one is your cam. The top left is just your fuel pump. You know, as long as it's on the mark, it can spin in circles all it wants. Just make sure that top right cam pulley and the crankshaft down there, put those lines up first, and then just accommodate the fuel pump. It ain't bad. This ain't a bad job. All right, see ya.